So I tried squatting every day, and in 5 days, my squat went from 425 pounds to 475 pounds. I increased 10 pounds a day for 5 days, so those were all PRs that I had never lifted before. And before this, I hadn't done any squatting for about six weeks to 2 months, because I was just doing deadlift training, progressive range of motion stuff. And in the summer, my previous best was 365 for 7, but I really hadn't done any serious squatting since then, and for August. So that was, I probably might have been able to get 445. That's what that's kind of about, but that doesn't mean that. So before this, that 425, the most I'd ever done was 405 for a single. So if you're kind of in a similar boat, you're just not used to squatting, I think this would really help you. I felt like I was just able to learn the technique a little bit better and just learn my own groove. And then when so after I did that 475, I got sick. I got a fever because I was only getting like 6 to 7 hours of sleep. And so I was sick for a few days. I came back. I was only able to get 455. It felt heavier than that 475. And then I had to take a few days off because I went snowboarding for 5 days in a row in Colorado. And if you're 211 pounds, it's quite hard to go snowboarding and do like plyometrics for 5 days in a row. Your legs have to be used as shock absorbers like that. So then so that delayed me about 2 weeks. I came back and did like 455, and then I did like 485 in that clip I showed you, and my groove was off. Felt like my knees were not in the right position. I am more hip dominant than quad dominant because I think my femurs are quite long. And then later that week I tried 500, and then I took a few days off. I tried doing 500 again the next week, but was getting in the groove of squatting every day again, and then tweaked my back doing 455, and then I had to take a few days off. I did like leg press. I did like 890 pounds on a leg press, which was a PR for me, with like this Magnum plate loaded leg press. And then since then, I haven't. I've done a 475 a couple times, and so it definitely lasted the progress. But since then I've done 405 for 2, which is a PR, and 425 for 2. So I don't have any strength endurance between 405 and 485. So I feel like that's a fault of squatting every day, is that I didn't feel like I earned any of those reps in between, and they definitely didn't carry over with that. Also, filming was really beneficial, because if I hadn't had filmed, I wouldn't have gone for those PRs every day, because I did it and the squat would feel really slow. All the warm-ups would feel really slow. I'd do like 405 and feel really slow, and I looked at the video and I was like, oh no, that was really fast for me. So it made me want to go higher, because the objective measurement was better than how I felt. It felt like crap, but on the video it looked good. So I would film your form for the form's sake, and just for look at speed too. The first week I also tried really conservative jumps and progression, and then the second, third time I tried it, I think I was way too aggressive. So I wish I had taken a step back to try to take 2 steps forward. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Feel free to ask me any questions. I think I'm going to switch over to deadlifts now, because I'm kind of bored with squatting, and I think that 500 will just happen on its own sometime. Alright, thank you.